Put nothing on them, put it on them, it will shed more frequently and get some really good pass rush wins when you use it. It's not going to be all the time. It's going to be about 20% of the time that they're going to get some really good animation.
Well, maybe this because the sky is
that's basically it for that. Now, let's say we want to do something else. Let's say he's hitting wide to the flat. Maybe we can put this guy into a man assignment. And again, this guy here, we can do whatever we want with him as long as we're blitzing this guy here and we're using him. Let's say it's to the other side. You can use any of these guys. It doesn't have to be just this guy every time. Maybe I want to man him up, and this is going to be my user now. So you have so many different avenues here to kind of do what you need to do, but we're going to leave him in a hook curl for now. Let me put him into a hook curl. And again, this will be our user, and you're going to see they're going to try and throw the football, and there's nothing they can do. So bam, we're covering it, nothing's open, and bam, that should be a pick in a game. It wasn't right there, but you see, it is hard for them to really do anything at all. Now, let's talk about run plays real quick, and then we'll go into the big nickel over G and show you what the deal is with that. So, the way we're going to set this up in big nickel over G, again, make sure you have safeties at linebacker. And then you can also put the middle linebackers at defensive end, as you see right here. So we're putting them there. It's pretty simple. Let me get to Landon Roberts real quick. And the play we're going to use is the corner blitz 3. This is going to be an extra adjustment that we have to do, but you're going to see it's essentially the exact same thing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pinch my defense as we did before, slant my line. Let me do a quick slant my line outside.
I'll take it out. Let's get it back.
For some reason, there we go. Outside, and then now I'm going to put this V corner into a cloud flat. So double tap R triangle, hit B or circle, down on the left stick to put him into a cloud flat. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shade down and shade over top, as you see right here. So now I basically have cloud flats galore, and now I can put these guys into curl flats. And then from here, the extra guy you have here in a flat zone, you want to pick him up, and then you bring him down right here as your user like you would do before. So it's essentially the same thing, except now you have a 3-receiver hook on the field, which is probably the best intermediate zone in the game. So again, same exact deal. We're still enabling both sides. We're still getting these guys into curl flats. My only issue is they are not stand-up rushers, so it'll be a little bit harder for them to get out to the flat as quickly, but it's basically the exact same thing, as you can see here. So, bam, we're going to call the play. Nothing's open. We're covering everything. He gets Gurley right there, but in that case, what we could do is we could just man up that 3-receiver hook to the running back and cover everything over the middle. So as you see here, we could just go like this, and then we do the exact same thing here. As you can see, it's all set up once again, but this time, what you're going to see is bam, nothing's open at all, and he tries to throw it to the running back. He gets it, but a lot of the time that will be a pass breakup. So that's basically it for the defense. We're going to go over the run shooting capabilities through the gaps. Let's go right back into nickel 2-4-5. We'll show you this time how to cover 6. Same deal here. Then let's just go into like a toss or something, if I can find it here, just to show that you can gap shoot it. So again, pinch your defense, slant them outside, shade down and over top. And then we're going to put these guys into curl flats, and then blitz our user here, put him down right here. As you see now, it's a vertical hook. What I would probably opt to do here is put him into an inside third. That might be a little bit better, have the outside quarter on the outside. So you can leave him on the inside quarter. It really doesn't matter. You'll just have a harder time if you're playing a good opponent, because they'll know how to beat match coverage apart. But this is match coverage. These guys won't necessarily play where they say they will. This guy might follow a crosser all the way across the formation. So just keep that in mind. Again, nothing crazy, but just something to keep in mind. I like cover 3 cloud the most, but by mixing it up, you can really give them a hard time when you're playing the defense. Now, you're going to see here, I'm just going to sit right here, and you're going to see I can still have gap shooting capabilities. As you see right there, it is a lot.
Are you kidding me?
You can still do
Sam, get him!
Not as good as the big nickel over G, but it's still possible. As you see right here, we'll do it one more time. And we shoot right through the gap, and right there got caught up for some reason, but we still hold them. So this is actually decent run defense, something that I would recommend running, especially because you can gap shoot, but if you don't get out there, you still have the potential to get them in the backfield for a loss. We'll do it one more time here. Make sure this angle is facing toward the side of the run that you think they're going to, the blitz angle, just by moving your defender, and as you see right there, 5-yard loss. So The gap shooting potential is great. Now, I promise you guys we would show you the one user blitz here if they're sending out 5 routes in the game. It's going to be in the nickel 3-3-5 wide. I like to mix this in here and there when I need it. The Mike Blitz and let's just go into something like gun type flex. It really doesn't matter what play you call. So the setup here that we're going to do is simply press your defense, shift your D-line to the right, crash them outside. Then over this middle linebacker, you want to stand at about right here over this defensive tackle. Now I'm going to move this guy down over to the running back if possible. I just don't want any quick throws. When you're playing in a game, watch how quickly he comes in when they send out 5 routes. Bam. Right there, he comes in quickly. He's not throwing that pass in a game. He's going to get sacked almost every single time. The running back route is usually what people look for first. So the fact that we're taking that away immediately is really a good sign here. Again, I'm just going to line up right here. And as you're going to see, we just come through this gap right here and we get caught up on that receiver for no reason, but you see we're still getting there almost immediately. It's a great user blitz against 5 routes. Again, don't spam it. That is the key. If you spam it, then they're just going to know how to beat it eventually, but if you're not spamming, it's going to be a lot harder for them to realize it. What you can also do is man up that middle linebacker and take the safety down here like so, and you're going to see, bam, we get right through. And it's the exact same type of thing, but the middle linebacker's blitz angle is better, so if you can, keep it on the middle linebacker. But again, that's just the user blitz I wanted to show here. In the game, they're not going to have a lot of time to throw, as you can see here. They're not going to be making computer reads out there. So a very good user blitz. Again, you guys, the defense today was in the nickel 2-4-5. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.
What's going on, everybody? Just wanted to start this video off with a little announcement. For those of you who don't know, I recently joined the team over at Madden Daily, so I will be collaborating with Pete, aka you guys know him as Lights Out, along with some of the other great guys that they have over on their team. Now, the content on this channel will not change at all. It'll be the same exact YouTube channel as it was before I joined the team. If anything, it might get a little better due to the fact that now I'll be collaborating with Lights, so we'll have a lot of great stuff to bring to you guys, not only on my channel but also on his channel and for the website moving forward. So super excited about, the value that we can bring to you guys and to the Madden community as a whole going into the future. Now for this video, I want to talk about Drini's defense, and in particular his cover 3 sky press setup out of the dollar formation. Now it's a defense that's not seen very often and wasn't seen often throughout this tournament. A lot of people were running the crossfire style blitzes, but he was mixing in crossfire along with this. So you got 2 3-deep shells there. He was also mixing in defenses such as spinner, such as DB Fire 2, stuff like that. But the cover 3 definitely was one of his favorites. I think it ended up being his second most called play, as you can see here. 32 play calls, 5.94 yards per play, and 11.27 yards per attempt. So not fantastic numbers, but where it really shined was that he got 6 sacks, 1 interception, and 2 fumbles off of this defense. So basically a little over 28% of the time that he was calling this play, more than 1 out of every 4 times, he was either getting a sack that was putting his opponents in a hard down and distance situation, or he was getting a turnover in the form of an interception or a fumble. So it was very effective for him down the stretch, and so I just wanted to kind of go ahead and talk about it a little bit right here, playing Spoto in that first round of the single elimination bracket. And you're going to see Drini actually runs this pretty standard. You see the 3-man rush, the 3-deep shell forming, and then he's got 1 guy in a spy. So he's essentially dropping 7 and rushing 3. And then the 1 spy, obviously. And what he does here is he actually ends up manning up the hitch receiver. Now, Spoto running bunch trail, so you have to know the typical bunch trail setup. They'll put this receiver right here on a hitch, and then you have the corner route going in, filling in behind it, and then you can playmaker the hitch either left or right, basically wherever you think the defense is vulnerable at. And so Drini does a great job of recognizing the route combo, knowing it's bunch trail. You're going to see he shoots out towards the corner route, knows he has to cover it. Spoto goes with the playmaker on the hitch route, but because of the man-to-man defender, you see that's a tight window along with the QB spy. Spoto's going to have a really hard time fitting that in. The deep post route isn't a great read against cover 3, obviously, because there's a lot of time for that safety in the middle third to go ahead, come up and undercut that route. So Spoto really has nowhere to go. Drini ends up sending the spy, and Spoto takes a huge sack for a loss of 8 and bringing them to a 4th down. So a little later in that same game, Drini versus Spoto, huge
We
play
want
for
to
Spoto
pick a
here,
ball.
4th and 11, already down 14,
God
needs to
damn it.
convert. And this is where Drini gets really creative with his cover 3 sky press setup.
You know
and
he
this
loves
is
the
kind of what he was
peekaboo.
doing for the majority
Everybody
of the
loves the
tournament. A
peekaboo.
lot of players will run those cover 2 style setups like DB Fire 2.
Peekaboo!
It was really popular
Let's
early
go!
on with 3-4 under,
No!
OLB strike 2. And what they would do is they would drop that middle linebacker into a deep third. Well, what Drini started doing was Drini was dropping this linebacker into a deep third and taking the original player in a deep third and basically using him as a utility player, manning him up on whoever he thought his opponent might be looking for on that play. So you're going to see, in this case, Drini ends up manning up this defender on that receiver, and he actually ends up manning up the other safety on the outside receiver. So he's got 2 of the bunch side receivers manned up, and you're going to see Spoto goes with a vertical setup here, and it's really just, there's nothing open right here, right? Spoto puts the running back out on an out route, going across, but Drini doesn't care if he throws that because it's 4th and 11. Everything over the middle is locked up. You've got the B receiver is manned up, along with the fact that he's going to be running into this zone right here. The A receiver is manned up, along with the fact that, you got the middle linebacker dropping back in that deep third. The RB receiver is covered right here on the side, and then the X receiver is going to be running over the middle of the field into that big crowd. Very tough for Spoto to make a read here. Drini does a great job using right here. Spoto doesn't want to throw an inside pass lead right here to the RB receiver because it looks like Drini is running in that direction, but then Drini does a great job of stopping on the spot and noticing that X receiver is going to be coming over the middle, and he goes ahead, strafes up, and basically just sits there and dares Spoto to throw it. Spoto can't make a read, ends up getting sacked and turning the ball over on downs. So right here in his matchup against Prodigy, 4th and 11, semifinals, big play actually early on in the game, Drini already up 7-0, and you're going to see something very similar. So Drini's going to go at the snap of the ball, you're going to see the middle linebacker drops back into the deep third, and what Drini did was Drini ended up cross-manning this RB receiver on this PA post shot play, which is a popular play out of the wide church formation, and it was really good last year. This receiver does a great job of running this route that gets all the way across the field and kind of gets behind those zones. But Drini did a good job, actually manned him up. And you're going to see the man-to-man defender actually gets beat really badly, but Drini does a good job knowing where he needs to be, using the route over the middle that's actually